I was born in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Spent the first 6 years of my life living in a trailer, actually, trailer park, traveling around Saskatchewan, Alberta, Manitoba. My father was on road construction crew, so we went wherever he went until I started school. I knew I was going to be a hunter from when I was, this big. I was collecting earthworms and beetle bugs. That's my first memories. And then graduated to field mice, rabbits, coyotes, and finally I got my first deer when I was 14 years old. I didn't realize I would be in the hunting industry as a hunter until I was 26. I was reading an article in Peterson's Hunting, a fellow by the name of Craig Boddington. Craig, you were my inspiration actually for trying to make a living as a hunter. I learned a lot about hunting from my father. Number one, that I'm not only a meat hunter. My father was, and I definitely wasn't. We were diametrically opposed on our view of hunting. If he could be done by noon on opening day, tagged up and at home with the deer butchered, that was a great hunting season for my father. For me, I wanted to tag up on the last day of the season with the biggest buck in the whole area. So I got 30 days of hunting. So we were opposite ends of the spectrum as far as that went. But the fundamental reasons we hunt, family, camaraderie, adventure, humor, those were all the same. And that doesn't matter whether you're a meat hunter or whether you're hunting for trophies, trying to make the hunt last forever. Those elements are the same, and we shared that. And my father and I spent many, many days in the field, especially after I got into the hunting industry. We shared many hunts together, and some of my most favorite memories in the field certainly are not the biggest animals I've ever hunted or the accolades. They're those hunts with my father, with any members of my family. The memories of the big animals that I've taken, they pale in comparison to the memories of hunting with my family. My son's first bear. I can picture it right now on that grass flat in British Columbia. That big giant bear used a muzzleloader. He was 16 years old, and the geese flying up after the shot and the smoke hanging in the air. It was beautiful. There's no memory compares to memories of hunting with, your own children. Hunting with Eva, her first animal, big game animal, warthog in South Africa. I can picture that right now as if I was there with Eva. I remember the tears that came down her eyes after, and it ran away at the shot she thought she'd missed. And said, no, that's often what they do. And that overwhelming emotion that we all know, every hunter knows that feeling. And to share that with your children, to be there, there's no greater. I don't care. The biggest world's record, whatever, could walk up to me and I wouldn't even look at it if I was hunting with my children. Maybe now if it was Evie. If I was hunting with Evie and I had a tag, okay, let's be real here. Get my face a slap here. But the memories hunting with my children are my greatest hunting memories by far. One thing that people don't know about me is that I wish I had as nice a hair as J. Allen Smith. Well, I wouldn't want it to be quite as white as his, but if I had nice locks like that, I'd be in heaven, and hardly anybody knows that. When I get asked the question, why do you hunt? My immediate reaction is not to try and explain to someone, because they obviously don't understand. No, maybe they want to understand, but how can they understand? I'll say back to them, why don't you hunt? Like, how can you not hunt? It's the one thing that's keeping the wildlife of this world protected, conserved for generations to come. The one thing. Yes, there's parks, and that helps. But it's the hunting dollars around those parks, the buffer zone, that's what's keeping the wildlife alive. These little tiny enclaves aren't enough. We have to have hunting. So why doesn't someone else hunt? To me, it makes no sense. And that opens up the opportunity to explain the conservation, the reality, the economic reality of what hunting does around the world and how important it is to the wildlife. I just hope we're not too late, and I hope we're in time with the message. You know, we're reaching people more than we ever have now, educating them about what hunting does, and it's a race. It's a race that every one of us in this room has a great responsibility to get the message out there, to pass that information on, to educate. And I promise I will always do my best to do that, always.